What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here, and welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and I'm joined by Canadian Yorker, and today we are recapping the Monday Night Raw that took place December 9th, 2024, and it took place in Kansas. So how's it going tonight, Canadian Yorker?
Long week. I can't wait for the weekend. It's been a blessing, but at the same time, there's a lot to talk about for wrestling, and that's what I'm here to do tonight. So glad to be doing it.
Yeah. And we apologize for the late video. It's kind of like a late Thursday night, and Monday Night Raw was on Monday night. So we apologize for the late video. Plus, next Monday, we're heading to Monday Night Raw in Boston. So we can't wait for that. Be on the lookout for the full matches in the blog. It's actually going to be two blogs because the show we're going is a double taping since it's going into the Christmas break, so it's gonna be a double taping. So it's gonna be my first double taping. I think it's Canadian Yorker's first double taping. So yeah, I'm not quite sure yet if we're gonna do a broadcast for the next two Monday Night Raws, if we're gonna see both of them live. They're live. I mean, last time I was at SmackDown, I did a broadcast. So we'll wait and see if I'm down to do a broadcast or not. Um, but next Monday, we're heading to Boston for Monday Night Raw, so I can't wait for that. But anyways, let's get started. Monday Night Raw, we start off with Gunther making his entrance and getting on mic. He said that he's not losing his title at the Saturday night main event. He gets interrupted by the Judgment Day. Finn Balor says Gunther's messing around and giving title shots to undeserved folks like Dominic Mysterio. He said that out loud with Dominic Mysterio next to him and talks about how he's responsible for the ring general keep the title through the last couple of defensive, and that means he's going to be walking out of SNFE as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther talks about when Finn won the inaugural Universal Championship and how he looked up to Balor at that time, but then faded away as he started cutting corners and taking shortcuts, hanging out with a bunch of weirdos in the clubhouse and choosing to play settle fiddle to Damian Priest. So here they are standing across from each other with no respect left, figuratively and literally looking down on Finn. 8 years ago, Gunther said that he was the best in the world for one night. He's the best in the world right now for thousands of days to come, and the title proves it. He says that Balor isn't on his level and never will be. That promotes Judgment Day to get up to the apron, but Damian Priest comes out to even the odds. Judgment Day gets run off, and Gunther and Priest brawl. The ring general clears the announce table, but Balor pops up and hits the sling blade on the champion. Shotgun drop kicks to the steel steps, taking Priest into the ring. Coup de grace on Gunther on the floor as Judgment Day cronies attack Damien in the ring. Priest takes him out one at a time. Finn slides in and hits the inverted headlock elbow drop, letting the rest of the Judgment Day beat him down. Coup de grace on Priest three times. So Finn Balor hitting the coup de grace on Finn Balor hitting the coup de grace on Damian Priest three times, and that ends the opening segment. So tension between Finn Balor and Gunther, and tension obviously between Damian and Gunther and Finn as well. And it's later announced that Finn Balor won't be defending the title. Gunther won't be defending a title against Finn. Adam Pearce have made this match a triple threat match, so Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor and Damian Priest in a triple threat match at the Saturday night event. So, what are your thoughts on this opening segment and this chaos? It's out of hand.
It is out of hand. I will grant that, and I will also say that Gunther, if Gunther would never have been able to defend his title against Damian Priest if it wasn't for the help of Finn Balor. Let's just get that straight. Finn Balor basically helped Damian Priest, Gunther win, and Finn Balor um, he basically assisted Gunther to win. But now, and I feel Balor is saying that Gunther is going to be beaten by Dominic Mysterio to get the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, what are you talking about, Finn Balor? What kind of smoke is he smoking to make him believe that Dominic Mysterio is going to put heavyweight champion. I mean, it's a possibility. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for that to happen. That is setting the bar way too high in my regard for Finn Balor. Now, Finn Balor himself can definitely be the champion. He has done it before. He's won on the big stage. It just makes sense that he is in this championship run. For him to be in the world heavyweight championship mix, that will be uh, a big boost for him. But at the same time, he is a tag team champion, so he should have no qualms with wanting to be the world heavyweight champion. And but instead, you know, he's throwing his hat in the ring. I don't like how Finn Balor and the Judgment Day are getting involved in uh, in Gunther's business. Gunther could destroy all of them. Okay, Gunther obviously hasn't been the same guy since WrestleMania. We know this. He has been showing that he is doubtful of himself. He's scared to face the same people that he would just go after before. He has lost his confidence, and he's still the same champion that he is, but he has lost some edge in my regards. I've seen that Gunther has lost some edge here, and he's not the same dominant force that we saw him to be. Um, but I believe, he could definitely regain this if he beats Damian Priest single-handedly without the help of Finn Balor, because Finn Balor is going to be directly involved in this match, and it'll be really interesting to see that happen. I know Finn Balor does not want Damian Priest to regain the World Heavyweight Championship, so that's not going to happen at all.
Alright, so moving on to the first match of Monday Night Raw. We got a six-man tag team match. We got the Final Testament, Akam, Karrion Kross, and Rezar and The Miz versus the Wyatt Six. Actually, it's an eight-man, sorry, not six-man. Eight-man tag team match. Wyatt Six, Dexter Lumis, Erick, Rowan, Joe Gacy, and Uncle Howdy versus the Final Testament, The Miz, Rezar, Karrion Kross, and Akam. Chaos as the Wyatt jumps right in. Cross almost eats the sister Abigail, but Miz saved him. Final Testament in control on Gassy. Joe gets away, tags made, and Roman is on the Miz, destroying him with laterals and boots. Big boots from A-lister. Eric throws him. Eric throws him hard around over the rope. Basement dropkick right up, but both the Miz and Arthur pile up on the floor in a big dive. Tags to Uncle Howdy. Dragon screw neck wipe. Miz runs away to tag Cross. Uncle meets him with the elbow and a clothesline that sends him to the floor. Scarlett running interference, but then Nikki Cross appears behind her and takes her out. With Howdy catches Karrion in the Sister Abigail face lock. Miz makes the save and gets put into the mandible claw, but Paul Ellering is here and back with a handful of powder to turn the tide. Cross gets them. Karrion Cross was able to hit the final prayer on Uncle Howdy. So wow, the Final Testament and the Miz getting the huge win. Karrion Cross needed. Look, I don't mind the Final Testament defeating the Wild Six because we didn't really see a lot of Karrion Cross winning matches. So the Final Testament man and Miz they get the win over the Wyatt Six with Karrion Cross, who I always think that he needs a push, and this is it right here. Karrion Cross pinning Uncle Howdy. That's huge. But what are your thoughts on the Final Testament and The Miz defeating the Wyatt Six?
I think it's a great win for the Final Testament. We continue to see a great buildup of this group. We continue to see how they keep improving as a faction, and I think it's interesting. It makes it more interesting to see Karrion Cross get the win over the Wyatt Six, and obviously, I would say that the Wyatt Six have been a disappointment in a sense, but at the same time, they're still growing, they're still evolving. I would definitely love to see them continuing to make progress and doing their thing. Honestly, they're a really interesting faction group still. and they get people guessing for a lot of different reasons. Um, so I think that these guys, the Wyatt Six, definitely have a lot of things in their favor going forward with them. So it's a great pickup for both these teams,
All
for
right,
both these
so
factions.
all right, so moving on, we got Dakota Kai going 1-on-1 with Liv Morgan. So this is a weird match. I don't know why this match was made, but it was random. The women's world heavyweight champion Liv Morgan taking on Dakota Kai in singles action. Off the ropes, leapfrog roll under arm drag from Kai. Another one, snap snare, sets up a blackbuster and a jackknife pin for two. Morgan with a huge back body drop to the floor. Here, Fusion Collective have arrived at the base of the ramp to observe the match, though Kai with a double stomp, cover for two, back and forth, and Liv gets it. Liv Morgan hitting the Oblivion on Dakota Kai thanks to a pure collective fusion. Excuse me. Thanks to the distraction by the pure collective. Excuse me. Thanks to the pure collective perfusion group, whatever. Sorry. Post match, Io Sky and Kairi Sane arrived to save Dakota Kai, who was getting attacked by the pure collective perfusion. But Kari takes them down. But then Liv Morgan hits Oblivion on Io Sky. If you guys don't know, Liv Morgan will defend her Women's World Heavyweight Championship against Io Sky at the Saturday night event this Saturday. So I was going to do a prediction video, but I don't really think Saturday night is a pay per view, so I'm not going to do it. But I was thinking of doing just for the fun of it. But what are your thoughts on Liv Morgan defeating Dakota Kai?
I will say that she's sending a message to the to from she's sending a message to Io Sky. This is Liv Morgan's way of sending a message to tell her that this is exactly how Io Sky is going to lose to her on Saturday, when they finally have this showdown.
Oh my god.
Io Sky will probably lose very badly and be humiliated and lose humiliatingly to Liv Morgan, because she has all of the fire on her side. She got humiliated. She and Nia Jax both got humiliated in their in Aries. And so Liv Morgan is definitely going to be going on a tear, taking down her opponents, those who challenge her for the heavyweight championship, just like Nia Jax will do the same. I'm just saying from sort of playing from the devil's perspective, but from the this perspective of Liv Morgan. But at the same time, I believe Io Sky can definitely make come back. I think it's really weird that it is a weird matchup with Dakota Kai matching up against Liv Morgan, despite the fact that Dakota Kai is a bit of an injury-prone wrestler. But at the same time, Dakota Kai had the opportunity to beat Liv Morgan, but she was not able to get it. And Pure Fusion Collective, they are just a continual thorn in the side of Damage Control. Obviously, Damage Control does need Asuka back. It's even the odds. And I would love to see that happen. We don't know when she is coming back, but I know she'll be back whenever she's back. So I just gotta hope for the best, and we'll see what happens going forward. I don't think Pure Fusion Collective is done with Damage Control, because they still have a feud going on, and I wonder why that's not being fleshed out more. I definitely think Pure Fusion Collective needs to have one more match with Control, because that needs to be explained more.
All right, so moving on, we got Seth Rollins making his entrance and getting on mic. So we're gonna hear from Seth. Seth Rollins making his entrance and getting on mic. He tells CM Punk that when his days are done in the ring, he got a career as a politician in that interview as a masterclass in spitting the truth to play the victim. And Punk has been doing that his entire life. Seth Rollins said he's a fraud and a con man, and if you want the truth about him and CM Punk, he'll tell you. Seth Red said that he's right. He did go to Punk and ask him to train him. He idolized and respected Punk, and they were friends, and that part CM Punk leaves out will tell you why that's changed. When CM Punk walked out of the doors of this company 11 years ago, he called him and texted him because he was a friend and he respected him. And what did he get back? Nothing. Seth said for the next 10 years, all Punk did was try to take this company down, taking any pot shop he could, and he only walked back in here because he failed at everything else and burned every single bridge, and the money was right. He said that he's eventually he realized he's better than Punk, and everything CM Punk has done, he's done twice, plus that one thing he never done, main eventing WrestleMania. Seth Rollins get interrupted by Sami Zayn. Seth tells him if he's comes out here to defend Punk again, they're fighting again because he doesn't want to have time for it. Sami Zayn said last week they both got angry and said some things and fought, and that's bound to happen when you've known each other for a long time. He admits that he was wrong if you assume that Seth dropped Jey Uso backstage and he wants to apologize. Rollins admitted that stuck in the correct this past week, but given how close they are, their kids played together, that Sami jumped right to accusing him doesn't sit right with him. Sami said that he didn't sound right last week. He sounded like the kind of guy who points fingers and thinks that he has the only more to clarify. In other words, he sounded like Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins forcefully said that he's not Drew McIntyre, and Sami Zayn said that he isn't. He's better. But the thing with CM Punk brings out the worst to him. And Sammy asks if they're personally good, and Juke chooses up for a moment before saying they're good, and says that it just needs to be handled with business with Punk. So Seth Rollins and CM Punk feud is coming up, I guess. Sami Zayn says that he has to handle his business with Drew, and he leaves. Sami stays in the ring and says he's not going to sit here and listen to McIntyre week after week. He's going to end things as quickly as it started, and he already spoken to Adam Pearce, and it's official. Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre at the Saturday night's main event. I'm not going to lie, guys. I thought he was going to challenge Drew for next week because the last time we went to Raw, we saw Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. I would pay so much money to watch it again, but I had a feeling. I was like, oh, is he going to challenge Drew to a match next week? Oh my goodness! But they're doing a match at Saturday night event instead. So which makes sense. But Drew blindsides Sammy on the ramp and lays him out on the stage, beating him down while he gets road agents and referees sworn to break it up. So Drew McIntyre blindsides Sammy from behind once again. So what are your thoughts on that segment with Seth Rollins and Sammy? And Drew McIntyre obviously coming when Sammy isn't looking and blindsiding him.
My thing is, I don't understand. I understand that Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn have history together. I understand that they've been friends for a long time. They've been co-workers for a long time. What I don't understand is why is Sami Zayn interjecting himself into this controversy between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. You have Sami Zayn. You have I'm addressing Sami Zayn. You have no reason to get involved in this business between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins whatsoever. You need to handle your own business, man. That is no. He needs to do his business right now. Is dealing with Drew McIntyre right now. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, they need to handle their business. Seth Rollins CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had one of the best storylines going on in wrestling. It was just between the two of them. Had no one else involved. It was a beautiful storyline played out between the two of them. And Sami Zayn is interjecting himself into what could be one of the better storylines, better than Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. It can now be Seth Rollins and CM Punk. These guys just need to go at it together. They're working things out, and we will see a beautiful storyline playing out between us because that was a build-up from last year's WrestleMania till now. This was the build-up from ever since CM Punk came back when Seth Rollins was on top. Now he's no longer on top, And I think, to my own and I in my own opinion, I think Drew Mac, Seth, uh, Sami Zayn needs to stay out of this. Sami Zayn needs to stay out of this business. He doesn't. He has the bloodline, and the bloodline has the OG bloodline have the new bloodline. So they have their own business going on right now. Sami Zayn has Drew McIntyre to deal with, and of course, Drew McIntyre is gonna attack Sami from behind because he's back with the bloodline again. Obviously, Drew McIntyre does not like Jey Uso, doesn't like Jimmy, doesn't like Roman, doesn't like Sami. So of course, he's gonna attack. He's gonna attack Sami Zayn. He's gonna attack the entire bloodline. That's what he's gonna do. That's because they made his life a living hell for the past 4 years, and now he wants. I can understand Drew McIntyre's opinion, but Sami Zayn absolutely has no business being involved with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Just let them do their thing. I say let them do their thing. The bloodline needs to let them do their thing, okay? Because they have personal beef that needs to be dealt with. They have a personal beef going on right now between these two guys. Let them have that personal beef. That needs to happen. I want to see it happen.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we got a WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament first round match, our third triple threat match. We got Ivy Nile. Second triple threat Intercontinental first round match. We got Ivy Nile versus Lyra Vicaria versus Selena Vega. And I understand where people are coming from, where they say, oh, why is Lyra and Selena Vega in the same, match? People were cheering for Selena Vega to win the new IC title. I mean, people were cheering Lyra. And it's like, no. People wanted to see them in the finals, but now they get to a match together. So, Ivy Nile eking out the lead. Vicaria rolls up a DDT into a brainbuster and gets a near fall on Ivy Nile. Ivy counters with a cross arm bar. Selena Vega in to break things up. Nile German suplex both of them into a bridge on Lyra. Nope, standing switches. Back suplex connects. Lyra puts a run together. Lyra Vicaria was able to hit the Nightwing on Ivy Nile to win this match. So Lyra Vicaria defeating Selena Vega and Ivy Nile by pinfall to move on in this women's IC tournament. So big win for Lyra, and just want to let you guys know that was my pick. I picked Lyra Vicaria to win the whole thing. I want to see Lyra win the IC title. I think she's the perfect candidate, and hopefully my pick is right. I picked Lyra to win the new IC title, so hopefully I'm correct. So, but Lyra moved on, so that's a good sign. That means my closer that my prediction's right. So, but what are your thoughts on Lyra Vicaria defeating Ivy Nile and Selena Vega to move on in this tournament?
I think Lyra Vicaria is a really good pick. I think she's definitely qualified to go and get the IC title. She could definitely do it. But there are, I mean, like Zelina Vega desperately needs a singles run. She has not been doing much. I mean, I would love to see Zelina Vega get a championship run, and that would be awesome to see. I wonder why isn't Ivy Nile in the picture as well? She is from the Creed brothers. Obviously, American Made has been doing their thing. Chad Gable was doing his thing against Cody Rhodes. The Creed brothers are still an amazing tag team. Ivy Nile, man, Ivy Nile could definitely challenge. She could challenge the. She can challenge Liv Morgan. She can challenge Nia Jax for the championship. She is a technical wrestler, um, just like uh, uh, just like Chad Gable. She is a really interesting wrestler. I mean, American Made is a really interesting faction, but they're just not getting pushed enough as they should be because these guys All of them are really amazing athletes and really amazing wrestlers. A lot of Valkyria gets to push forward, and she could definitely become the next IC champion. Congrats to her. That's all I gotta say about that. Zelina Vega, she could definitely go for the U.S. championship if she can. Definitely, she could do that in the future. Ivy now could also do the same. So we'll have to see what happens with that going forward. So we'll see what happens.
All right, and before we move on, just want to mention, guys, that when we are going to Monday Night Raw next week, we're going to be there live. We're actually going to be seeing the next two triple threats. So it's a double taping. Next week is going to be Monday. Is going to be Raquel Rodriguez versus Kaden Carter versus Zoe Stark. So we're going to see that one live, and then we're going to see the Natalia versus Kairi Sane versus Elba Fire one because it's a double taping. So pretty much we're gonna see both of them. So I can't wait for that, man. Wow, double taping. I'm excited. So we get to see two of the triple threat match. Canadian Yorker, I'm sure you're excited too. We're gonna be there live. So
Yeah,
so
I'm definitely excited.
yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see all these matches, and best of luck to all the
Yeah,
ladies
yeah.
who are going to be in the Intercontinental.
All right. He cut off a little bit, but let's get this done. But moving on to the main event, we got an Anything Goes match by Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. Anything Goes match. So it was announced by Adam Pearce. I mean, we know the history between these two women. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez do not like each other. We've seen them feud when Rhea Ripley was the heel, where Raquel Rodriguez was the face. But now the roles have been reversed. They brawled on the stage and out to the crowd. Rhea Ripley throws her over the barricade and back into the ringside before throwing a trash can at her head. That was hilarious. The referee calls for the bell and they keep brawling. I mean, I don't know why he calls for the Gruz Anything Goes match. Rhea Ripley bastard with a dropkick through the ropes and goes under the ring for a table. Raquel Rodriguez cuts her off and throws her into the steel steps. Fireman carries her around the announce table. Trading weapon shots. Rhea Ripley is ready for reptie her on the chair, but Liv Morgan, like always, I knew it was going to happen. Liv Morgan comes down to run interference. Raquel with a big boot, picking Rhea Ripley up and slams her on the chair, but only gets two. Io Sky is here to even odds. Missile drops gets and suicide dives takes out Liv. Raquel with the cover for two. Liv Morgan did hit Oblivion on Rhea Ripley. Raquel tried to capitalize but couldn't, only got two. Table set up. Rhea Ripley puts her into the chair wedge into the turnbuckle. Rhea Ripley was able to hit Rip Tie. Raquel Rodriguez was able to rip tie Raquel Rodriguez for the table. And we talked about Rhea Ripley's strengths. We've seen Rhea Ripley rip tie Nia Jax before, but Raquel is pretty big. So Rhea Ripley hitting the rip tie on Raquel Rodriguez and winning this Anything Goes match by pinfall. And all I can say is, Raquel Rodriguez, I love you and all, but you're the worst bodyguard for Liv. I'm not gonna lie. And Raquel Rodriguez is like, she can't beat Rhea Ripley. I mean, I don't think she has ever beaten Rhea Ripley, even when Raquel was a face where Rhea Ripley was a heel. So it's kind of funny. But what are your thoughts on Rhea Ripley defeating Raquel Rodriguez? He's shaking his head. What are your thoughts?
I don't understand. I don't understand this. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like the inverse of this thing just happened. In all honesty, so Kel Rodriguez cannot beat Rhea Ripley as a heel. Now she cannot beat Rhea Ripley as she can't beat Rhea. Sorry, let me rephrase that. But so Raquel Rodriguez cannot beat Rhea Ripley as a face, and now she can't beat Rhea Ripley as a heel, and she has to. She actually even gets help from Liv Morgan to help her beat Rhea Ripley, and she can't even beat Rhea Ripley. That is ironic in a sense. So you talk about irony. Talk about irony of the highest order. I mean, honestly, it is sad to see that happen to Raquel Rodriguez. She honestly, it makes sense that she could be the person that is helping Liv Morgan to retain a championship, but Liv Morgan cannot help uh, uh, Raquel Rodriguez get a single win out of Rhea Ripley. And honestly, Rhea Ripley's definitely a riptide over Nia Jax was impressive than her riptiding Raquel. She's done. She's definitely beaten Raquel before. We've seen her beaten Raquel on 3 different occasions. This is now the 4th occasion where she has beaten her single-handedly by herself. But honestly, I definitely need this. We need to see Raquel Rodriguez just Raquel should be dominating Rhea Ripley right now. Okay, she should be. She always gives Rhea Ripley a run for her money, but she never dominates her. And we never see a version of Raquel that is edgy and fierce and aggressive. She just doesn't have. It almost seems like she doesn't have that side to her. Rhea Ripley obviously had that side to her, but she was a more dominant, more physical, more fierce opponent over Raquel. But Raquel just cannot seem to get the job done. And I don't understand why that keeps happening for the life of me. Maybe Raquel Rodriguez needs to separate herself from Liv Morgan and focus on a little bit of an independent run right now, so she can get something under her belt. But I don't understand what in the world is going on with Raquel and her not winning over Rhea Ripley. This is just crazy thing that's going on right now. That they should be at least equals. But at the same time, you know, just things keep getting in the way of her winning. It just keeps happening, and it's highly ironic.
All right, so that would do it for Monday Night Raw. Sorry, like I said, I apologize for the late video. In terms of grading of the show, I love that. I love that anything goes match with Rhea Ripley and Raquel. I just like Raquel cannot beat Rhea, but I mean it was great. I love this show, so I'm gonna give this show a. You know what? I'm gonna give this a minus. It was good. It was some of the one was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention the New Day got booed. The New Day getting the Dominic treatment, getting booed was before speaking. That was hilarious. So I can imagine they're gonna try to come out next week when we're there live, and then TD Garden is where the event's gonna be. We're just gonna be hearing boo like all over the place. That's gonna be hilarious if the New Day comes out next week. um, I'm giving this show an A minus. How about you?
I'm definitely going to be. I will say I'm not going to giving this an A minus. There's some things that could have been improved. I definitely think that the Bloodline's involvement with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn involvement with uh, with Sammy and CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud. It just is this has to, they need to step out. They need to not get involved in that business. It just kind of rubs me a wrong way a little bit. I don't like to see that because Seth Rollins does not like CM Punk, and CM Punk doesn't like Seth Rollins. So it makes sense that they need to stay out of that. And also, uh, well, with the thing with Raquel and Rhea, Raquel needs to get a win over Rhea. Raquel should have gotten that win with this all war or with this all weapons, all no holds barred match that she had against Rhea Ripley. She should have dominated in this match. That is what should have happened. And I definitely think Raquel needs to beat Rhea 1-on-1. We need to see that happen because Rhea Ripley needs some adversity. She doesn't have any adversity. We know that she's one of the best wrestlers, one of the best in 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 it right now. And honestly, I would say we need Charlotte Flair back to help get give Rhea Ripley some adversity. Well, I want to see a heel. I want to see a heel Charlotte Flair against a face Rhea Ripley. That would be amazing
Oh,
to
it's gonna
see.
be. It's gonna not. Next WrestleMania, it's gonna be a heel Charlotte Flair. It's gonna be a heel Charlotte Flair versus a babyface Tiffany Stratton. That's what they're doing.
I don't know if that's what's gonna happen, but it may happen. But I'm giving this show a B plus. There's definitely things that could have been improved, but that's my rating.
Alright, so that would do it for Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Bruin Steele, this is Canadian Yorker. Be sure to check out Canadian Yorker's channel. The link will be in the description of this video, as well as their WWE Wrestling Bros channel, which is our wrestling channel. That link will be in the description as well. And once again, next Monday, we're going to be at the Monday Night Raw in Boston. We can't wait for that. Like I mentioned, it's a double taping, so I can't wait to see. There was some other matches that was announced. 2 championship matches, guys. That's crazy. Braun Breaker defending the Intercontinental Championship against Ludwig Kaiser. That's going to be great. But I'm cheering for Braun Breaker. Fuck Ludwig Kaiser. And then we got Finn Balor and Jade McDonagh defending the Tag Team Championship against the War Raiders. I hope the War Raiders beat Finn Balor and Jade McDonagh. Like, that's just that. But they haven't announced any more matches. I think after when Saturday night event ends, I think maybe Sunday or even Monday they're going to announce more segments and more matches. So it's going to be great. Double showing, man. But anyways, we're getting out of here. Any last thoughts before we leave, Canadian Yorker? I'm pretty sure you're pumped about Monday night.
I definitely agree with you that Gunther needs to retain his title against Ludwig Kaiser. And
you mean Braun Breaker? You mean Braun Breaker?
Yes, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker needs to beat Ludwig Kaiser. So our friend from the our Celtic friend, can come back and beat him to get the Intercontinental title. And the World Raiders need to get their championship, take that championship.
And I don't want to talk too much about that. Zoe Stark, Raquel, and Kaden Carter match is going to be close. But my money is on Raquel. I think Raquel is a threat. Raquel could possibly try to win the IC title to the Judgment Day. Like, imagine Liv being the Women's World champion, and then you got Raquel with the inaugurated IC champion. So I think that Raquel wins this match. I think Zoe I like to see Kaden Carter win, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Raquel or Zoe's going to win. I'm not sure. But that would do it for Monday Night Raw. My name is Bruin Steele. This is Canadian Yorker, and we'll see you guys in the next broadcast. Hopefully it's for this Friday night. I'm not quite sure, but like I said, we don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do a broadcast for the next 2 Raws, because the next 2 Raws are going to be in Boston because of the double taping and the Christmas break. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a broadcast. It's up to us. To be honest, Canadian Yorker, but we're going to be there live anyways. So, but anyways, my name is Bruce Steele. This is Canadian Yorker. Enjoy the rest of your night, and see you guys later.
Take care.